You can be like the quicksand and harder to fight, not move. Move into, for there's only you. There's the beautiful pain for the bloodstain, and fleeting and falling grace and stains upon the blossom tree. A weird dream, made of artists, for there's knows nothing except for the houses that view. You can be criticized or loved for not to lose, for the saddest thing it could be, for the really a two, for the favorite things and what you want, for the hate, literally everything, for the going back to the strange, never talking to the indie more, for the everything about them will find remains. Please tell me I'm forgettable. Or maybe I am, for the silencing making me feel. Don't be afraid for the confronting of the feelings before you can fully remove for your life, and I can fully be. First thought, maybe it was the number 3 of the fate or the destiny, even what you could be left for the rich and then live to bear. For there's no saying for whether or not we could die happy, for the dying of bliss, and we can humans and die in the destiny for wrapping around our wrists and the escapable fate. Others but hero to find a hero but the tragedy. It would be a tragic place. It would be a trajectory, quantum entanglement, and conversation held up in the gaze and eyes, wonder with the bland word for the new million timelines. Or then maybe the particles of physical interact amongst those sparks invisible with a dull situation you could blink of an eye. Upon a second to take these things and what you want, dynamic emotions, stalking, maybe giving me kinda low feeling for the walk. Sometimes you just need to break for the moment to flip the screen, rip the pieces away from find some peace. This is the place when you can make a Lego, step into the and let go. Only one day to see the face for under the clothes. Wake up next to, taking me back for those to be the good old days, with like a break in the back of the understanding, the pain, the fuss, no fear for the near retouch with the souls merge. You can hold yourself for the surrounding by the love for the standing in the center for the no distance between you for the two of us. Is surrounded by the sky bedding for the colors and maybe they're finally united for the dream unfulfilled and the spiritual quench thirst. Maybe we are one energy. Not to blame. Life has kissed that hate for the time, for the rape, to the fate, for the brushing of a cold heart. While the motive for the boldly standing, the scolding you're right into the person with the secure, folding nightly and push avoidingly for the false smirk. Maybe they knowingly managed them all for the wild and then I came to the shifting from the time externally for the drifting of days, for the pointing in another, for the readily, for the seldom I think, for the plain truth of the offering I never thought. I never lied for the resurface of resilience, the forging reality for the eventually conclude for the defining lines of what I be first, I still win. You could be the menace for the lone, but not for the lonely, for the best of the lonely, but still alone, for the worst of the feeling to be alone and not alone. But alone for the lonely, for the enough to be given, for the return, for the broken, for the strong, for the love to return, for the love given, the harmony, for the connection, the self-forgiveness, and self, for yourself, healing, for open woman, gifts to be realization for we, a spiritual spiral, awareness, the darkness and the light within, for the unconditional love of the soul connection, the body for the balance, and this would be the life, for the existence without the darkness, and this would not exist without the life of the lonely, but alone but not known. Sad but true, this is the time, but tomorrow I know we're born today, for this is the passing of away, for the room, for I can remember that, for the time beneath the floorboard, for the solving of this is a ceramic container. Honesty within yourself, for locked behind the years, and laughing the kind of same time. Not just mine for the reading of the online, for the playlist, for you to find an accident. For your love, it was by mistake from back in home, love language, which is why you text back with this understanding book to text your eyes. Or looking at cigarette to kind of catch that. Praying for the understanding of design, running inside that river, for the reception to the way you can find it one. Inside your love. List of things you can never love. Colors, pop figure, glass of the water, and the mission for the Pacific, the natural for the humanity, the nameless, the pretty of the long walk, or fine and that, something shit. The heart that smiles, the disability, the dress, the trust, the execution, to do what you can find. It's that it's forgiveness, say goodbye, say goodbye to spirit. It's alive, it's true, it's to be naturally market, the life is true, to build the kind, to love first, behind the lines, to love the bonfire, the sparks flying, to the heart of the inside of the woman, to listen to the sun. But in the skin, for the watching, the so place, the simple shadows and passion, the silhouettes, and the city lines, and everything that's left, the statue that will be off in the past, and everything that will never, what will blow, suffocate their own memories, going never slow, no matter whether how you try to deny, it wasn't the fire was gone, nothing left in the past, just like the success, like the sun, it never reaches and never gone. Those are warm, the cold sorrows, the place without forgetting the breath, the erase all without the breath, the feeling for the morning, breath, the sky for the silver lining, breath for the murky cloud, for the day, the thunderstorm, hope what is lost and breeze, beauty for the winter, for the frost, and one by the new quick, so long, the earth, the cracks, the broken soul. Come over me. That's just what the name is. In the fire forever, too long to get gone. Not just stuck to be there, the other day, just walking around blinding and yet the same spot. The angels are coming, not to stop. Brought from that place I couldn't let go. And I deleted that line and I know I did. I read it into absurdity. Then murdered it with the press with the concept of the button. As the rest of the concept of emotion I carry how I leave line drop. Brought from that place I couldn't let go. And I deleted that line and I know I did. I read it into absurdity. Brought from that place I couldn't let go. And I deleted that line and I know I did. I read it into absurdity. Then murdered it with the press with the concept of the button. As the rest of the concept of emotion I carry how I leave line drop. Days with the rest of my drop with the I dreamt of elegance and the depth of the ignorance and stuff the sound. It was taking up the resonance and the strength and the sweat love with me. I deleted that line, but I read it anyway despite my trifling. Ignore it with the same and I know I did. What can be proven? We can also be held accountable or guilty. It was not for the guilt, for I am bored. I feel bored when I'm tired. For the time, what's in store for the time. Cross before you wait for it. Time is slow because you notice it. Time is fast because you ignore for the time flies because you forget it. You cannot control it for the slow, it's not fast and you can't get it back. What's mine will remain. Meant to be footprints, those were destined for memories made upon temporary expedition, dangle painfully upon the permanent destination, but mine will remain. Living. It doesn't feel like it. For the next day, I don't look forward for the any day that I wanted. Just unfair for not to give. For maybe there's somewhere I can go for the maybe be happy once, but what's the point? For I said there isn't. I move and flow kind of way for life to bite the lips. For this is the only understanding for the years with no friends, but the life is there for the stagnant and void. I don't want to have no choice, but you hear that sound. It's the sound of the voice. Just a smile along for the state voice. Your mind. I don't trust that happiness because part of the poison. Stop the wheels of time and start again. Requires that patience for who's and just lock myself inside of that place I couldn't let go. From I needed that line and I know I did. From that place I couldn't let go. And I needed that line and I know I did. I read it into absurdity. Then murdered it with the press with the concept of the button. As the rest of the concept of emotion I carry how I leave line drop. To the drum. Days with the rest of my drop with the I dreamt together. Death with the ignorance and stuff the sound. It was taking up the resonance and the strength and the sweat and love. I deleted that line. I read it anyway despite my trifling. The same I know I did. What can be proven? You can also be held accountable or guilty. It was not for the guilt, for I am bored. I feel bored, but I'm tired. I'm tired of what's in store for the time. To cross before you can wait for it. Time is slow because you notice it. The time is the past because you ignore for the time flies. You forget it, but you cannot control it for the slow. It's not fast and you can't get it back. What's mine will remain. Meant to be footprints, those were destined. Memories made upon temporary expedition, dangle the painfully upon the permanent destination, but mine will remain. Living. It doesn't feel like it. At least for the next day. I don't look forward for the any day that I wanted. It's just unfair for not to give it. For the maybe there's somewhere I can go for the maybe be happy once, but what's the point? But I say there isn't. I move, flow kind of way for life to bite the lips, but this is the only understanding for the years with no friends, but the life is there for the stagnant and void. I don't want to have no choice, but you hear that sound. It's the sound for the voice to keep you so calm. Just a smile along for the stay poised. For your mind, your toy. I don't trust that happiness for the part of the void, but the please kill that for the just the only life are empty for the blood to live. Change requires that patience for whose name. I'm not scared, timid or anxious to lock myself inside of that for the creating love of imaginations and friends or with my father taught. Begging for a free handout. When you look clean, strong for the whole land, coherent with enough to stand by the exit of it, begging up what you can find across the border from the Home Depot for the way they get to work hard. Beg for that 15 to handle the business. You can find the children, be ashamed of your claim to be ex. Military, but you cannot be the comment for the compassion to devious of what you have before. Summary, survive. Whether or not you can find adult begging, free hand for this dignity, yourself for the human being that have legitimate mental handicap for this to have the social service for the care for you can be long Remember, coping with the loss. Took a lot of time not to cry for the work I can. I kept on seeing you good and you for the keep remember that I love you. For the slowly but surely for the anger crept into the ghost of the night for the leaning of the hate. Hating so much for the easier for the ig to be angry enough for the stop of the hurting. Or the hurt for the angry enough for not to stop that pain for the alchemy of an island for the yours to be the surrounding of that moan. Suddenly the silence became the words that you could build a bridge for the them abound. For the moment for the isolation, no more for the wrong for the dwelling in the magic place of your shining day. You are more for the island of amazing instead of that for the daily praise of the finally. Stay here for the sun rays and the moonlight. As the sea grace. Grace me with the vengeance and darkness is such a beautiful thing, isn't it? For the rapid of the loving arms around. Tears became too heavy. After the years of pain for the learn, for the darkness so much it love, for the curiosity yeah, maybe that caused me to learn. I am not alone. In my thoughts of bloody glory for the horror of the pictures, and maybe the pictures in my sad to say, seeing myself and laughing, I cannot suffer in vain. I am not lost. Really, when you think about it, what has been lost, and this has been thought so much for the past year. Darkness, if you really read the mind, you'll be terrified, for this is the plan for the teen, the plan to be torturous, or not for to be the ghost or the murderers or psychotic, for this it will scare you, and not for don't to be scared. I am not the cry for the cry the poetry, for this is not how I find the peace, for the writing it, for this sometimes it's hard to write, for this is a feeling I can read in my heart. You can start loving, but I'll never understand what happens. Something really so fragile can't be so strong and steel for the roughest of stone, for the sharpest of knife, but you can put under the tense pressure that can either turn a diamond or to shatter. It doesn't matter anymore until that task is complete. My heart will be for the rapid the thorns of pain, the tears that rip at the seams and what's left of the world inside of me. For I fight back for the taking of the sword, for the breaking of the shield, for the tearing down those thorns of thrashing, slicing, maddening, for only the rose of the puffing faithful. Wrongful enough. I'll be the word to have the confidence of standing here with the point better heart for this the people that I know. Cross fire with the war for the those who love and she loves and I will. The silence and the wrong to how. Stuck inside of the rope of the mechanic. You see. Dusty peaks, blood flowing through the volume, dusty my body for the resting of my soul for retching, snatching my heart, my face, and my movements allowed to the contour of your darkness. It was thicker than the skin. You should be held accountable for the fighter I am for all my life, fighting for the peace and the break, for the fighting for happiness and the fading away. I'm okay. Let the world form like a piece of clay for everyone watching me drifting in socialization become so hard. Not afraid to guard, not afraid to let my own go. I'm fading for the fading. Show the way, self-esteem, not a mess with a big and broken wasabi. Chorus with a star for the gates into the blinding light. A silent maze for the pantomime for the blight. The carrots for the cheek for the lips of the blue for the black and the white for the chorus. The swoon for not a win in my mind for the one called innocence and mine. Sand in the face of the ridges, the rock, which is the place of the wind and the boat. Horizon never heard for the guy in the bird. Who's goes along for the moment of the phone. Who's in it for the horde. Her shed is just drinking the sorrows the same. It was a 30-year relationship with the final love for him and I've waited for a move to achieve those goals. Starting over him just one more day. It will not be for the black for the rig. For the hoodie for the long, for the fade between my nose, for the wandering smoke in the light, victim, for the beating bow. And I'm for the gaze like a blinding of the light, for this is the cross cheek. This will be the chorus. This will be what I thought before it was gone, for the radiance it was, and it would be fine, and echoes of the tears, and tomorrow I should be for looking out of the tomorrow, for drowning in the deeper sorrows of rise and horizon, get dust and take it back to the ball, for the smiling of the day, the snare, for the midnight for the brush, standing tall, not to ponder yourself, for the speeches for the night, that I write something beautiful enough to tangle for the words, feelings and exhausted the thought, perhaps enough for tomorrow outline the right phrases, but yes, I'm waiting for the final break. Please, for the hands and knees, begging to scream with the crying out. Goodbye. My lungs burn inside for how long I can find that peace with the break of dread for the pain. So come for the goodbye, for the warming. I have a choice for the night as a child, for the beginning of blocking the truth. Gone forever, I can recall several warnings to Mary. Stand by the cross and escaping time. Summertime, the sadness for the helpless and the hope of making the spring, but I can find that just one time. Right in the sand for the first time, I found love for the rumors and whips around. Hear the words, and hear the note for the with the light to spread the shadows. It would be commenced to find that for the bailing out, or the dandelion to blow in the face of the glossy eyes, to shatter cries into those that scatter for the love, to realizing the wiser, only the dream slow dies, cutting that blood for the resistance of the bruise, to satisfy it felt for this the hands that decided today was that day. Enough for the justifications and just be just that. I was from the habitat with a reputation and not dying for it, but simply comply. Not a give and take for the not listening of compromise, but take the one for the only one for the here. For I can't remember the last time seemed to care about for any to concern for the just the best for the only one that seems to. Narcissism. It's hard to deal. It's hard to feel. It's hard to find that dancing in the right place, and these are the standing in spite of the pain for the dancing, and when you are the rain for the drops or the tears, either fighting with those who you can remain. Don't play with that, for like that, for the mature, for it will never be claimed to be the man of the dreams. City slick for the rain, stickly as a knife for the elegant despair, but you can find the drops of the passer, shimmering shine, rainbows of light about that eye. No questions why, no vows, pavement to the pond for the oiling on like sunset, beautiful as a dawn. Dreamily we can find a new life for the blood, for the answers on your tongue to bring me down to my understanding of what you can find stuck inside the head, for the honey glue for the stare, or the despair. Love me tender enough for the deep dance, trance and call me sweet, smile for the other tender skin to tell me why there's any other way. The heart to win for the begging of the time for the deadly patience, and where you find the fires of everlasting sentiments for the poet inside, slowly dying, and not enough to write for the word to turn out encouragement inside of the mind. Sorry for what you had created for the picture. All of a sudden you're thinking of Reddit, I guess it's what you meant for this to be the subtle flares of the death-fitting tone, the feeling of the skin, the taste of essence, the loop, the self-reflection, the plastic bag on a journey flying through the wind. Destination stuck in a drain of ranch, wherever the plastic bag you choose to be. You can find a destiny, not for the destination to reach the end, for not fulfilled, for the human to continue to seek. Improvement for the right, for wrong, to satisfy the own ego, for the product, for expectation, for what you think, and this is actually desire. Sometimes if we pause, we might realize the fire for the passion and dreams, and never beyond the reach, and this is where they need to stay. Without them far away, we can that line, and I know I did. I bred it into absurdity, then murdered it with the press for the concept of a button. Asked the rest, the concept of emotion I carry hardly in my drop, into the drop of the days with the rest of my clock, for the I dreamt of elegance and the depth of the ignorance and stuff the sound. Your demons taking up the resonance and the strength and the sweat log for the beat. I deleted that line, but when you read it anyway, that despite my trifling, you could ignore it with the same, and I know I did. What can be proven? We can also be held accountable or guilty. It was not for the guilt, for I am bored. I feel bored, but I'm tired. You're tired of what's in store for the time. Cross before you can wait for it. Time is slow because you notice it. The time is fast because you ignore, for the time flies because you forget it, for you cannot control it, for the slow it's not fast.
Brought from that place I couldn't let go, and I deleted that line and I know it.
Brought from that place I couldn't let go. Brought from that place I couldn't let go, and I deleted that line and I
brought from that place I couldn't let go.
Brought from that place I couldn't let go.
Brought from that place I couldn't let go.
Brought from that place I couldn't let go. Brought from that place I couldn't let go. Brought from that place I couldn't let go. Brought from that place I couldn't let go, and I deleted that line and I know I did. I bred it into absurdity, and then murdered it with the press for the concept of a button. Asked the rest, the concept of emotion I carry hardly in my drop, into the drop of the days with the rest of my clock, for the I dreamt of elegance and the death of the ignorance and stuff the sound. Your demons taking up the residence and the strength and the sweat log for the feet. I deleted that line, but when you read it anyway, that despite my trifling, you could ignore it with the same, and I know I did. What could be proven? We can also be held accountable or guilty. It was not for the guilt, for I am bored. I feel bored, but I'm tired. For the tired of what's in store, for the time to cross before you can wait for it. Time is slow because you notice it. The time is fast because you ignore, for the time flies because you forget it. For you cannot control it, for the slow it's not fast and you can't get it back. What's mine will remain. Meant to be footprints, and those were destined for memories made upon temporary expedition. Dangled painfully upon a permanent destination, but mine will remain. Living, and it doesn't feel like it. At least for the next day. I don't look forward for the any day that I want it. Just unfair for not to give it. For the maybe there's somewhere I can go for the maybe be happy once, but what's the point? But I said there isn't. I move and flow kind of way for life to bite the lips, but this is the only understanding for the years with no friends, but the life is dead for the stagnant and void. I don't want to have no choice but you hear that sound. It's the sound for the voice to keep yourself calm, for the just and smile along, for the stay poised, for your mind, your toy. I don't trust that happiness for the part of the ploy, but please kill that, for this is the only life are empty, for the blood to live. Change requires that patience, for whose name I'm not scared, timid or anxious to lock myself inside of that, for the creating a level of imaginations of friends, or what my father taught, or begging for a free handout. Or you look clean and strong for the old man, for the coherent, for enough to stand by the exit of it, for the begging of what you can find across the border, for the Home Depot, for the way they can work hard. Beg for that, for the eating to handle the business, you can find a shield to be ashamed of your claim to be ex. Military, for you cannot be the comment, for the compassion, the devious of what you have a poor. Summary, survive. Whether or not you can find a dope begging. Free hand for the dignity. Yourself for the human beings that have legitimate mental, for the handicapped, for those who have the social struggles, for the carefree, you can be longer to the street. I am sure for the honest and hardship. Condition for those of the people who will be honorable enough for the chance for work. Commentary of the piss. For the place to find yourself for the black way. Awaken. Commander. Remembering. Coping with the loss. Took a lot of time for not to cry, for the work I can, for the kept the seeing your good in you, for the keep remember that I love you, for the slowly but the surely, for the anger crept, the ghost in the night, for the leaning of a hate. Hating so much for the easier, for the it could be angry enough for the stop of the hurting. Hurt for the anger enough for not to stop that pain, for the alchemy of the item, for the surrounding of that moment. Suddenly the silence became the words, for the bridge, for the limit bound. For the moment for the isolation, no more for the wrong, for the dwelling in the magic place of your shining day. You are more for the island of amazing, instead of that for the daily praise of the finally stay here for the sun rays in the moonlight. As I see grace. Grace be with the vanish in the darkness is such a beautiful thing, isn't it? For the rapid of the lovely arms around. Tears became too heavy. After the years of pain for the learn, for the darkness so much it lit love, for the curiosity you made that they caused me to learn. I am not alone. In my thoughts of bloody glory for the horror pictures, and maybe the pictures in the sad, see myself alive, and I cannot celebrate. I am not lost. Really, when you think about it, what has been lost, and this has been thought so much for the past year. Darkness, if you really read the mind, you'll be terrified, for this is the plan for the team, the plan to be